किसका माइक ऑन है?
Hello, mic testing. Hello.
Yes, it's working.
Hello, mic testing. 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello.
Hello, mic testing.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am.
The world is full of diamonds and gems, and we are having some of them here today to build this event. With this note, a very cheerful morning to one and all. I, Anushka Mishra, a member of Comrosia, the Commerce Subject Society of Motilal Nehru College, Delhi University, would like to give my heartiest welcome to our guest speaker, convener, teachers, and the audience. We are all gathered here today for the commencement of the second day of our annual flagship event, INSPIRON, the Speakers Conclave, where we invite spectacular personalities with diverse backgrounds from across the nation to inspire bright minds. The first speaker we have here today with us is CA Nandini Agrawal. She is a chartered accountant with a graduation degree in BCom. She holds a national record of achieving AIR 1 in CA finals at the age of 19 and AIR 31 in CA Inter at the age of 16. She started her corporate journey with PwC as an article trainee and has 3 years of experience working in different domains. She currently is working at BCG as an associate management consultant. Ma'am, we are honored to have you here with us. Now, we would love to hear from you.
Thanks a lot, Anushka, and the entire Motilal Nehru College team for inviting me today in such a great event. Good morning, everyone. Hope you all are cheerful this morning for this session as well as for the entire event. So today I've been invited to share my journey, my experiences that might be insightful and inspiring for you all. So before proceeding further, I would like to ask you how many of you think that for starting something or for ending something, it has been late or like it is too early or it is too late to start or end something? Like how many of you think that the time matters a lot? There is a right age to do something or there's a right time to end something. Can I get a show of hands who thinks that way? Okay, I can see few show of hands. So let me tell you about my journey. I started my schooling when I was 4 years old in 2005. Ended up doing my CA, completing my CA at the age of 19. I was an average student till 7th standard and then ended up being a district topper in 12th standard. I have never tried my hands on public speaking till I think 2012 and then ended up hosting my school annual function for 3 times and also ended up being rewarded as the best speaker in several CA events, ceremonies, etc. I started my CA from my hometown, which is Morena, a city near Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh, wherein there is no ICI institute and also there was no resources to actually prepare for CA at that point of time. I went to Lakshmi Nagar with the hope that I would do my CA classes from there. I was overwhelmed by crowd, came back to home thinking that I would do my entire CA course with self-study and then ended up doing my entire CA journey via online mode. Not the journey because I did my articleship from PwC Gurgaon, but yeah, on the academics part, I did my entire CA course via virtual mode. Even after scoring All India rank 31 in CA Inter, no articleship firm, even the mediocre firm, was ready to take me as an article because I was below 18 and they were afraid that if they take me as an article, it might be violation of some rules and regulations of ICI. And then I ended up doing my 3 years of articleship from PwC. Not only that, during my articleship, I was selected by 3 Big Fours, but then put on hold for the same reason. While I was giving my CA finals, like just 1 week before my exams, my blood pressure was below 100. It was 95, which is supposed to be at least 120 if we talk about the upper blood pressure. Then also I wrote my all 8 exams and ended up scoring All India rank 1. During my CA journey, I never made any notes, which is considered as the most important thing for a student in order to revise anything at the last point of time. Now, why am I sharing all of it? The point is, I believe that there is no right or wrong time to start or end something. It doesn't matter when do you start. What matters is how do you start, how do you finish. We have the examples of leaders like Maharani Lakshmi Bai, then we have Maharana Pratap, who started fighting wars when they were like 12 or 13 years old. Then we have the example of Jeff Bezos, who started Amazon at the age of 30, which means there is no age limit to your talent, to your capabilities. It just depends on you when you feel motivated to do it, when you feel passionate about doing it. And once you feel passionate about doing it, then what matters is how you do it. There is also a saying in Hindi that लाइफ में कितना जिए वो मैटर नहीं करता है, लाइफ में कैसे जिए वो ज्यादा मैटर करता है. So that's one of the theme I want to highlight. And also, if you look at my journey, I started my schooling at 4. Usually, in today's era, students start going to school like at the age of 2, 2.5, at 3. But I started going to school when I was 4. Now, many of you would be surprised to know that, like, how did I complete my CA at the age of 19 when I started at 4? So when I started my schooling, I started with LKG and then did my LKG and UKG in 1 year. My mother believed that I already know what would be taught to me in the first standard, and she challenged the school administration that I should be directly admitted to like the second standard. School said that we would take a test of her, and if she passed it, then we would take her directly to the second standard. And my mother accepted the challenge, and guess what? I passed that test, and then school has to like admit me directly in the second standard. And because of that reason, I've always studied with students who are like 2 years elder to me. When I look back at my journey, like this was completely done by my mother. But whenever I look back, I realize that it's the faith and the passion about what you like to do matters a lot when it comes to achieving your dreams, when it comes to seeing the things becoming true which you always dream of. Secondly, I want to highlight, never let your past determine your future. I was an average student till 7th standard. Like I used to score maybe around 80, 85, or maybe 75 or 80. But after 7th standard or in 7th standard, I started realizing that good academics at school and also being good at extracurriculars might help me to build my credibility in front of my teachers, in front of my peers, and that would help me to gain more respect in future as well. I started studying with the faith that I can also come in the top 10 or maybe in the top 3. And guess what? In 8th standard, I was the topper of my entire standard, like among all the 3 sections. What I learned from my journey is whatever I have done till now, I have done it without any fear. I have done it with full confidence, with full faith on myself. I was talking to a CA aspirant, and he told me that, ma'am, I'm not sure whether I should do CA or not. I have just scored like 75% in 12th standard, and I don't know whether I would be able to complete my CA intermediate, CA finals. And like he was very doubtful on himself. But now if I look at that person, he has already cleared his CA intermediate. Because I just told him, if you feel passionate about doing CA and if you put in all your efforts towards it, then it doesn't matter that you scored 70%, 75% in your 12th standard or 10th standard. If you put your efforts and if you devote yourself to a particular goal, you will definitely get the result. Third thing I want to highlight is lack of resources are never the barrier. Like many times I have heard people complaining that I didn't have access to these classes, I didn't have access to the metro cities, I don't live in a metro city, that's why I can't do this or that. But like if I look at my journey, there were no CA classes in my hometown, and still I decided to do CA. I thought I'll go to Lakshmi Nagar, study there, but I was overwhelmed by the crowd. I felt that I cannot study in this crowd. I mean, this is not my style, how I do it. And then I decided I would do CA by self-study. Also, during my CA journey, there was no ICI exam center in my hometown, and I have to travel to Gwalior, which was 40 kilometers away from my home. So it means 1.5 hour traveling from one side when I go to exam center, then again 1.5 hour traveling when I come back from Gwalior to my city, Morena. So that was also time consuming for me because I could have studied in that time, or I could have utilized my time in some other way. But even in spite of these circumstances, I was motivated to do it. I felt that these things cannot be a barrier to whatever I want to achieve. I have studied in schools which were not high on extracurriculars. So if I compare my journey to someone who is living in a city like maybe Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, Ahmedabad, wherein there are great schools who actually teach their students about public speaking, about sports, they are given proper training. I was not having access to all of it. So I thought that I would build myself basis whatever resources I can access on my own. Even during my articleship, like before my articleship, when I was doing my CA intermediate, I was not aware that there is something called Big Four. These are such big firms wherein people go for their articleship. I was just browsing it on Google and I just came across them and I really like their infrastructure, their ways of working. And so far I read about it, I got excited and I thought that, okay, I would try my hands there and it would be my top priority to get into these firms. So never think that you don't have access to resources, be it money, be it mentorship, be it guidance. If you're passionate about it, you will find a way, whether by one way or the other. But if you have the will, there would always be a way. Next thing, the fourth thing I want to highlight is never compare your journey with anyone else. What worked for others might not actually work for you. So if I talk about myself, usually when I started CA, which was in 2017, no one was keen to take online classes. There was no concept of online classes, and people used to think that in online classes, productivity is reduced, people are not able to study, or they might get lost. It will they lack discipline to actually study at home on their own. But I decided that I have been a self-study kind of person and I cannot study in a crowd of 100 to 200 students, and also moving to a new city, living in a hostel, managing everything on my own for those 9 months, wherein you have to study all the subjects of your CA intern. I decided that I would do self-study, and if it didn't work, we will see. And then during the time, I came across few of the YouTube videos about CA intern, and these were like very new classes, no renowned teachers, no past history of rankers, nothing like that, just like a startup. I liked the classes. I watched few demos. I purchased the classes which were never purchased by any of the CA student ever. This was a risk I took because I didn't know how would it go. I was a new student to CA journey, and I didn't have any idea how to study for CA, like whether is it the right way to study or not, whether I'm learning the right things or not. But I believe that I'm able to understand the concepts via virtual mode. So just let's go for it. After 9 months, taking all the classes via virtual mode, I felt quite satisfied and I thought that I can give both the groups of CA Inter, and I gave both the groups. And I cleared both the groups in first attempt. Usually people say that notes making are very important. If you're not making notes, you cannot revise. During my CA journey and even during my school life as well, I never made any notes. I don't want to discourage anyone to make the notes, but I thought that it won't work for me. Like what used to happen with me is whenever I make notes, I never feel like reading them again. Whenever I'm reading something in notes, I feel like, okay, I need to read the complete para from the book, or I need to see something else as well. So for me, the hack was to underline important things in my book, read them at the exam time, and that would save me a lot of time rather than making the notes, then at the exam time, reading the notes separately. And also then I used to self-doubt, okay, I haven't read that provision or I haven't read that chapter, so I need to again refer to. So I realized that notes might work for everyone, but it won't work for me. So I didn't go for making of the notes. So everyone's journey is different. It is very much advisable to take advice from your peers, from your seniors. And then after hearing all of the advices that you got, you should make your own strategy rather than blindly following someone else's strategy. You know your best, you know your strength, you know your weaknesses. So let's make a personalized and customized strategy which would work best in your own circumstances. rather than what has worked well in the past for anyone else. The fifth theme that I want to highlight is tough situations come to test you. In everyone's life, there is always a point of time wherein we feel that we did our best, but we didn't get what we deserved. So, what happened to me in 12th standard, although I was a district topper, I was not happy with my results because after I cleared my 10th, there was a news coming on the TV about someone who scored 99 point something percentages in 12th. My parents just, saw a dream like Nandini would also achieve so and so percentage. And at that point of time, I felt quite obliged that my parents have this expectation from me and I should score at least 99% in my 12th standard. From that day, I was very sincere, very serious about my studies throughout my 11th standard, throughout my 12th standard. And I believe that I have made like a lot of sacrifices just to ensure that I'm leaving no stone unturned to achieve that dream. So for some time I used to compromise with my sports period, or sometimes my friends are going somewhere, I'm not going there because I believe that it might harm my studies. I revised these subjects like maths, accounts a lot, like almost 5 to 6 times during the entire year. But when the result came, I got good marks in all the subjects except English, which was 82. And I was so dejected at that point of time, like just because of one subject, my entire percentage has fallen down to 94%. Although it was the highest percentage in my district, but it was not up to what I targeted, which was around 98 or 99%. I applied for revaluation, and guess what? The marks were reduced to 81. Like I lost 1 mark. Usually, whenever anyone apply for revaluation, their marks either remains unchanged or it gets increased. In my case, it was reduced by 1 mark. And then I just felt that I don't know what is happening with me. I put in a lot of efforts. That then also I'm not getting the results I desired. At that point in my life, I learned a very important lesson. You can never control your results, but you can increase the probability of something better coming into your life by putting in all your efforts and hard work. From that day, I have always been a process oriented person. Like I only focus on the process, enjoy the process, and the results by default becomes better. So, like, no expectations, no disappointments has been my principle from 2017. So, whenever there's a tough situation in your life, when you feel that I have put in a lot of hard work, but I didn't get what I deserve to be, then don't be disappointed. Just look back, realize your mistakes, see that whether you were a result oriented person or a process oriented person. Because if you were a result oriented person, you were always focusing on the result rather than working on the process. If you work well on the process, then result would be amazing, it would be beautiful, you would enjoy the result. I am going to highlight 2 more themes, but before that, to ensure that session don't become boring and you don't feel like sleepy, I would like to open this forum for like maybe 5 to 10 minutes. If you guys have any questions that you want to ask me basis whatever journey I have shared till now, or maybe about finance, anything else, anything you want to ask, I am opening this forum for like 5 to 10 minutes. You can put your questions in the chat box so that we can avoid some noise and all, so that the session remains in control. Seems like many of the folks are sleeping. I'm so surprised everyone is so sorted in their life. how did you avoid distractions as you cleared CA at such age? A very good question, actually. So, during my CA journey, I always had a study partner, which was my brother. So, whenever I feel that I don't want to study, it has been like 7 to 8 hours, and I saw that, okay, he is studying, and it was like a motivation for me that I also have to study. And it goes vice versa. So, let's say if he don't feel like study, then I would be studying, and then he would feel motivated. Okay, Nandini is studying, then I would also study. Second point was my sincerity towards my goal, my dream to become CA. I know that I want to clear my CA in first attempt, and I can't compromise with that. So I decided whatever distraction would be there in between, I would just cut them all. So during my CA journey, I've used social media like too less. During my CA finals, I installed my Instagram, I installed my WhatsApp, every social media app, I just installed it. And I was using the apps which would increase my knowledge, which would enhance my skills during my CA final preparation leave. So, for example, I was using Telegram to chat with one of my friends, wherein we used to share questions with each other and also solve each other's doubts. So, I think the best way to avoid distraction is to find a person who is equally focused on the goal like you and who would actually make you a better person. The community with which you interact, with which you live, with which you get together on a daily basis affects you a lot. So I would say be in the right company with the ones who are focused like you, or maybe who are focused more than you. What kept you motivated during this journey? So actually it was my mom's dream that I and my brother should become CA, because we belong to a family wherein my grandfather has done LLB. We have a tax practice like right from maybe 1980, like even before that. Then my father is also a tax practitioner, so they saw a dream that me and my brother, we both should become CA. After clearing 10th, I also got an interest in commerce. I took commerce, and then I saw that CA is an amazing career opportunity to pursue for. Like after CA, you get a lot of opportunities to work in finance, and finance is like one of the most growing sector nowadays. So yeah, that was my motivation. In online classes, you studied with recorded or live classes. I studied with recorded classes. Reason being, the point of taking online classes was that it was flexible, and I wanted flexibility so that I can do, let's say, 10 to 12 hours of classes in a day, or like on the second day, if I don't want to do a classes, then I'm not forced to do it. Why did you join BCG and quit PwC? So in PwC, I was doing statutory audit, and after 2 years, I feel that this is not something I would like to continue in future. My interest lies somewhere else. And if I talk about BCG, I am a management consultant here, wherein we are solving the core business problems, helping companies to enter into a new market, helping companies to turn around, like turning them from a loss making to a profit making company. And all these things actually fascinated me a lot. That's why I quit PwC and joined BCG. How do you know that CA was the right path for you? I think when you don't know the right thing to do, maybe you should get to know what is not the right thing for you. So after 10th standard, I realized that I don't want to pursue, like I don't want to become an engineer. I don't want to become a doctor. And then the only thing that remains was commerce, as well as the maths. I loved maths, so I decided that I would take commerce plus maths. And whenever someone take like commerce plus maths, there are few options: CA, CS, CMA, or maybe a bank job. They might go for MBA. And when I read about CA, like the most toughest course in the world, I feel fascinated to do it because I like to crack tough things in my life. So that was my motivation, or that was my, I would say, the point when I realized that CA would be the right path for me. Challenges you faced already seem very hard. Who has been your biggest support and inspiration in all this? So my biggest support and inspiration in all this has been my mother, my brother. My mother was the one who actually saw that I can skip some of the classes. I have the ability to grasp what would be taught in a particular class in just 3 months. So I mean, she was the one who saw the potential in me, and whatever I am today is because of her. So the entire credit, the entire support goes to her. And also during my CA journey, my brother has been like my inspiration, my core pillar, who motivated me at every point of time in my life. Even when I was moving from Morena to Delhi, it was not an easy decision. He helped the entire family to convince that I can manage on my own, I can take care of my own, and he was the reason for which I have actually become independent financially as well as personally. Do you feel your young age was a barrier in the corporate world? While honest answer would be yes in the initial time, when people see you as a kid, people see that okay, she is only 16, how would she manage in a corporate world? And to your surprise, after becoming CA, that too with All India Rank 1, I was rejected by an IB company because they think that at such a young age I would not be able to manage the pressure. So young age was a barrier in the corporate world, but with my passion towards it, I decided that I would make people feel realize that my age is not a barrier to my skills, my abilities, my capabilities. So when I prove that, they don't see that okay, she is a kid, or she is only 19 years old, or she is a 16-year-old girl. They saw it, she has a lot of potential to achieve whatever she want to. And then I was actually assigned with more responsibilities, with more I would say leadership roles. And yeah, I think proving myself was the only solution to it. How did you manage articleship with college? So I did my BCom from IGNU, which was like a distance learning. So I don't have to go to college on a regular basis. And in IGNU, if you are doing CA, then there is a MOU between IGNU and ICI that you only have to give the exams once. So it's like during my 3 years of articleship, I gave IGNU exams in December 2019. So that was not, a challenge for me to manage my articleship with college. How to cope with anxiety and pressure during the CA exam? I think a very, very relevant question. So during my CA exam, also out of anxiety and pressure, my blood pressure was reduced to like 95. But if I think about myself, how did I cope with anxiety and pressure? Is I think maybe because I was having a faith on my preparation. So I remember when I was not well during my CA final exams, I just thought that I have done a lot. I have put myself a lot for this course, and I cannot allow any sickness, I cannot allow any reason to stop me from achieving what I want to. So I think having faith on yourself is the key to cope with anxiety and pressure, and also realizing that you are not the only one who is facing this anxiety. There are a lot of people who are facing this anxiety like you. And this faith comes from the fact that you have already put in your hard work, your all the efforts, like you have done your best. So there is no point of being anxious about the exams or being like feeling pressured about the exams. I would say just is enjoy those 16 days while giving those exams. What's your opinion regarding CS and CMA, as many people believe that these courses are inferior as compared to CA? Well, I haven't pursued CS and CMA, but I will not call them as inferior as compared to CA, because CS and CMA are more specialized courses in the sense that in CS you get a deep knowledge of Companies Act, and the rights which CS holds is not given to a CA. So in any ways, it's not inferior as compared to CA. In CMA also, you get a deep knowledge about the cost and management account system of a company. And there are separate positions. There are separate, I would say, requirement for CMA. So what a CA does cannot, the same position cannot be held by a CMA and vice versa. So in any ways, I don't think any of the course is inferior to CA. What do you think about doing CA and regular college together, and how to manage them? So I have seen a lot of my friends who have done regular college, like from SRCC or Motilal Nehru College, but they can't do it along with articleship. So I think one of the way to do it is During your college, you give your group 1, then you give your group 2, so that you can manage your college as well as your CA course together, or you can actually take some sort of leaves, prepare for your CA course side by side, give both the groups. Then you take a break, like you don't join your articleship, you complete your college and then you join your articleship. So I remember in PwC, whenever articles are hired in the April batch, mostly they are from the college, and they are allowed to join PwC after they have completed the regular college. In any way, you cannot do your articleship and regular college together. Will we only get articleship in Big Four after giving both groups together? Yes, in Big Four, there is a rule that they allow you to do articleship only when you have cleared both of your groups. Cool, I think we have discussed decent number of questions. So maybe, I'll continue what I was talking about. So I told you about 5 things. The 6th thing that I want to highlight is, throughout my journey, I think what have always worked for me, or I would say what has kept me motivated throughout, or something, that has actually increased my productivity, was that whatever I was doing, I was enjoying the process. I mean, whatever you do it with a happiness. There is no point in doing something where you don't feel happy. I mean, just look at it. Your parents might have told you that you study till 12th, or you study till 22, 21, or maybe 24, and then your life would be set. You would be happy. You would have enough money. You would not be, you will not face lack of anything. You can enjoy your life. So at the end, whatever we are doing, it's to enjoy a life, to be happy. And there is no point in doing something which doesn't make you happy. Now, please don't confuse it with a temporary happiness. Like, don't confuse it with that you are not liking to study in college, so maybe you should leave the college. No, I mean, just look at your end goal. If your end goal is that you want to be happy, and for that happiness, you need to be a stable person in life who would be earning like enough money so that you can make a good living, you can make a family out of that living. Then in order to achieve that goal, you need to do something. Now, it can be study, it can be sports, it can be anything else. So in your life, I would say, first define your vision, break it into brief missions and goals, and then see how whatever you are doing today connects to that goal, that vision. Having a vision in the life is really important. And for that vision, you need to actually do proper planning. Like, let's say I want to land myself here 5 years down the line. Then what are the 5 things I need to do now in order to land at the desired place? That is really important. I have seen people who are actually doing a lot of things in my life, like in their life. And whenever I ask them, okay, why are you doing it? So let's say if someone pursue a course, and you are just doing it because your friend is doing it. You are not feeling excited about it. You're not liking to read that course, but you just feel that, okay, I will get one more degree, so let's do that course. So don't do that. Do the things which you feel would add value to yourself, would make you feel happy, would make you feel good about you. Then only you should do that thing. And yes, as I said, don't follow anyone else's journey. Build your journey on your own. Decide what works for you, what don't work for you, and then maybe you will land up at a place where you always wanted to be. Be calm in hard times. Hard times come to actually see your resilience capability, how much you can control yourself, keep your calm in tough situation. And it's my personal belief that failures come in your life, tough situations come in your life, because after a failure, your learning curve, your growth graph goes like this. But if you have always seen success, then your graph is like this, and this. So failure in life is like a very important part. which should be there and which makes you a better version of yourself. I was rejected by Bain after becoming CA, which was my first management consulting interview, and then I end up making it to BCG and McKinsey. I might have also felt that okay, I have been rejected by Bain, so I mean there is no possibility that I would make it to BCG or I would make it to McKinsey. But then I look back, I realized what were my flaws, what can I do better, how can I ensure that I don't commit the same mistakes again. And by doing that exercise, I like with full motivation, I gave my BCG interview, I gave my McKinsey interview, and both of these companies selected me. What was the difference between the first one and the last two interviews? I believe it was the attitude. Maybe in the first interview, I can say that I was not even sure whether I want to do management consulting. And when you are not sure of doing anything, then you will not be able to put in your best efforts. You will not be able to showcase your best skills in the best possible way. So whatever you are doing, just feel good about it, be sure about it, and I think it would do wonders. At the end, I would say, like in your journey, if there are times when you feel that it should have been other way around rather than what has happened to you, stay calm and believe that whatever happens for a good reason. I mean, it's a very old saying that जो भी होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है. अगर आपके मन का नहीं होता तो वो भगवान के मन का होता है. And I personally believe that a lot. There has been a lot of situations in my life wherein I have felt rejected. Why did it happen with me? Why only me? But now when I look back, I feel that okay, whatever happened for a good reason. And that's my approach in life also. If I don't get anything in my life that I wanted to, I just feel that okay, there would be something good behind it, and one day or the other I would realize it. The last thing I would say, there is a balance between hard work and luck. It might not be very objective to say that luck also affects your life a lot, but I think your luck becomes better with your hard work. So there is a correlation between the two. There might be times you feel that I did a lot, there was no I would say there was no flaw in my hard work, but my luck didn't work out. I would say just keep working on it. Your luck would be changed with your hard work. I'm a kind of person who believe that आप अपनी किस्मत खुद लिखते हो. So जो भी आप कर रहे हो, just do it with full of you, and one day you will see that it's you who have written your life and not anyone else. With this, I sign off from my monologue, and I would answer all the questions that are being there in the chats. So, do the number of attempts matter while bagging articleship in Big Four? Yes, they do consider the number of attempts, but I know a friend who has cleared his group 2 in 2 attempts, and then also he was selected in Big Four. So attempts doesn't matter a lot. I mean, if there is only one attempt, then they might consider you, considering your college, your past extracurriculars, your academics, and also then how you perform in the interview. It's not that big barrier for bagging articleship in Big Four.
Ma'am, now we would like you to have a virtual tour of our college as you couldn't visit us. I would request the team to present the video now.
I'm so excited for the same. I really wish I could have been there.
That was a great video, ma'am. And my name is
Yeah,
Ayush. That was a great experience for all of us, ma'am. We thank you for being so generous with your time. We thank you
thanks.
for so generous with your time. Our event was a huge success, all thanks to your enlightening words that inspired so many people. We hope for a great journey ahead. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Yash, and the entire organizing team for having me here today. I hope that the session was insightful or of some help to you all. And let me know the feedback of the session later. What can I improve, and whether you like it or what else can I add to it to add more value to it.